I once watched an admin lose most of a Friday to a print Spooler question. Security asked, "Where is the Spooler service running on servers that should never print?" The console showed one server at a time. Remote desktop worked, but slowly. By the 10th server, he was copying names into a spreadsheet by hand. By the 50th, the numbers were already stale. That is the moment a PowerShell Foreach loop stops being syntax and starts being oxygen. One question, many targets, same action every time. Administration is repetition with consequences. Check a service, read a log, test a path, confirm a registry value. Doing that once is easy. Doing it across every server, every file, or every user in an organizational unit, meaning an OU, is where the graphical interface starts lying to you by omission. You skip one host, you paste the wrong value, you forget which window was live. The naive script is not much better if it only handles one name. Fleet work needs a shape. Get a list, perform one safe action for each item, return clean objects, then sort, filter, export, or alert. The core idea is simple. A loop takes a collection and runs the same script block once for each item. In a script, I usually reach for the for each statement because it reads cleanly and gives me room for error handling. In a pipeline, I use ForEach-Object because the objects are already flowing. Inside ForEach-Object, $i is the current item. You will also see $ps_item, which means the same thing. My opinion, use ForEach for multi-line admin logic, and ForEach-Object for short pipeline transformations. Both are useful. The skill is choosing the one that keeps tomorrow's troubleshooting boring. Here is the working pattern. First, build or receive a list. Server names, file paths, service objects, event records. In a script, write for each, then a variable name, then in, then the collection. Inside the braces, that variable is the current item. In a pipeline, pipe objects into ForEach-Object and use $L for the current object. If you want results, assign the entire loop to a variable. $report equals for each, $servers, $output an object. Do not create an array and append with plus equals inside a big loop. PowerShell copies arrays when you do that, and large loops get painfully slow. Let's turn that Friday pain into a clean audit. Help desk has a text file named servers.txt, one server name per line. We read it with get content. Then $report equals for each server in servers. For each server, use Invoke-Command with ComputerName and a ScriptBlock that runs get_service_Name Spooler on the remote machine. Use -ErrorAction stop so connection failures go to catch, not silent red text. Return a custom object with computer, service, status, and maybe an error field. Now you have objects, not screenshots. You can pipe $report to where object status equal running, export CSV, or format table for a quick readout. The big trap is plus equals. With 10 items, nobody notices. With 50,000 event records, it becomes quadratic work. Copy the old array, add one item, repeat. Instead, let the loop output objects and capture the whole loop. Or use a generic list when you truly need mutation. For each object is elegant in a pipeline, but it has overhead. For large in-memory collections, for each is often faster and easier to debug. PowerShell 7 adds ForEach-Object -parallel, but do not treat it as free speed. Authentication, remote load, throttling, and thread-safe output matter. Windows PowerShell 5.1 does not have -parallel, and remoting can serialize objects, changing methods and live behavior. ForEach sits right in the middle of the foundations tier. Earlier commands taught you to get objects and inspect properties. Filtering narrows the list. The loop applies steady hands to every remaining item. Later, when we cover Active Directory, group policy, event logs, access control lists, meaning ACLs, and hardening baselines, this pattern keeps coming back. Query all disabled users. Check every group policy object, meaning GPO, for a setting. Read failed logons across domain controllers. Validate a file permission across a share tree. The loop is not fancy. It is the bridge from a one-off command to repeatable administration. Try this safely on your own machine, or a test virtual machine. First run get service and pipe it to select object first 5. Then pipe the same 5 services to for each object, svc.Name, so you can see the current item. Next, create $services equals get service, select object first 10. Capture $summary equals for each service and $services, pscustomobject@name is service's name, Status is service's status. View $summary. Finally, practice a wait pattern without changing anything. Set $tries to 0. Do a test connection to localhost. Increment tries. Start sleep 1 second until success or tries reaches 3. 3 beats to keep. First, the ForEach statement is your readable script loop. 1 collection, 1 current item, 1 action block. Second, ForEach-Object belongs naturally in pipelines, and $sign is the object currently passing through. Third, collect output by assigning the whole loop to a variable. Avoid plus equals in big loops unless you enjoy slow scripts and mystery pauses. While and do until are not replacements for ForEach. They are for waiting and retrying when the world is not ready yet. Tomorrow we keep building the admin toolkit. New PowerShell episode daily on this channel, from first command to fleet automation.